Hello and welcome to part 3 of the mezzanine floor build. This is just a little flash forward to just something that we're going to cover later on in the video. We're aware that part 2 got a lot of criticism for the structural integrity and just general construction of the mezzanine floor so far. We do answer all of your questions later on in the video, so be sure to stick around. And yeah, we have amended pretty much all of the errors that you stated that we had made. So yeah, stick around. Right, so we're currently on the way back to the workshop after getting some 5 metre long 8x2s, which we've got 12 of them strapped to the top of my car at the moment. One of the straps is right here in front of me, and yeah, we've certainly bottomed out the suspension, but we're aiming to get all the joists laid out today. It's going to involve a little bit of jimmying around because we haven't got all the bearers in place, but we have a plan. We have a plan. Hello, right, so we've got 2 beams to length, which will be this joist and then another joist next to it. We're going to fit those first and then we'll start fitting the longer ones as well. As you can see on this side, we haven't been able to get the bearers in, that's what I was explaining earlier, because the electrician hasn't come just yet. So, right, I'm sure it'll be okay if we start loading it up with joists, but just in case that wants to fall down, we're going to make a temporary support that's going to hold the joists from below. So we'll still fix it to this one here, but yeah, there'll be a little platform, probably like up here or something like that, taking some of the weight off of that beam there. For now, I'm just wiping them all down because I don't really want any water dripping off onto anything below. Yeah, it's a bit soggy at the moment, a little bit soggy. Okay, so we've got about half the joists up now, and we're toying with the idea of just continuing it on. We're going to make a support first, which will kind of hold the joist up from underneath, and then we'll be able to get the rest of them spread out across those beams, and maybe start laying out some floor today. Maybe. Good afternoon. So we've got you laughing at. We've got 2 more joists to lay out up there, and we've got 4 beams because I miscalculated, mismeasured, miscounted, whatever we want to say.
It's like the shed all over again.
Yeah, it's like the shed all over again. But I'm going to put the final support up now, and we've got one of these joists it's got the pith of the tree in it, so it's a bit twisty, bit splitty, and we're going to turn that into a temporary support. However, I haven't told you this, I want to keep it that length. So we're just going to thread it up, because I might want to cut it down later. I don't want to cut it in half and then find it's too short for something else later.
Oh.
So we're going to keep it that length, thread it up through, somehow.
Is there enough space in the ceiling?
Yeah, of course there will be. Yeah, it'll be fine. We're going to thread it up through, screw it into that beam, and then create this sort of cross thing here. So I'm going to drag this out first in order to get it under, and then like when it's supporting across here to that beam going up, we can just extend that cross beam a little bit further, and that will support the other two that are due to be added.
Temporary measures.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's done it. That's no fun.
I've done it, but I am using the other beam.
Hey!
That's what you're doing. I edit it. It's not seen the light of day. No! Go away! This is murder. This is the absolute worst. I've never felt anger like this.
Do you want me to have a go?
No!
I knew you'd say that.
Nailed it.
Hey!
Now the other one. Without a single swear word.
Yeah?
T's for tip. Ah, that really hurts. But it's okay. I like the pain. Why do you not go any further?
No, I'll tell you what it is. You've missed the noggin.
No!
Inkling. Oh, go on, push on it.
I am!
Push on it. Come on, really push.
I'm bloody
It's because it's in reverse, Rob.
You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah!
Oh, that's easier. With oh.
Well, that would indicate the last joist in place. I'm feeling very optimistic about this, Rob.
I hate this. I don't want to work for you anymore. Oh. That really hurt.
Yeah, I could see that being challenging. So we've got the main bit completed, and now I'm going to get the cross noggins in, and Rob is going to put everything back to where it belongs.
Do it. It's about as far as I can get.
Wait.
Hello, people. Oh my god.
Is it pretty tall? You understand?
Oh my god, I'm taller than the door now. This is so high. That's the light.
Oh!
I made it. Get up.
You want me to get up there?
Yeah, you gotta get up. You film me, I film you.
Oh, good lordy lord.
This is so high!
Oh, I see the predicament. I tore up my nipple doing that.
Right, so after that brief excitement,
Blimey. Yeah, so more nogs in place. Plywood up. This is the plan, by the way. Get the rest of the nogs in, get the plywood up, put the dividers in there, get the bottom of the workshop looking somewhat in order, which it does, to be fair.
woo! Thank you.
Yeah, just make it look good down here now, pretty much. Yeah. Are you ready?
speech.
Little speech. So, plywood in place. It's alright. It's better than the MDF that I had before, i.e. it's not sagging 12 miles. But that's up there. Rob has got the OSB up, which looks very spectacular. Woo! Very, very nice. I like the fact that we've got kind of a frame going on up here.
It's quite nice.
Now it's very nicely finished. And he has just finished sawing up the rungs to create the ladder as well. So I think what we'll do is just quickly buzz over this with the planer.
Why bother?
Plane it!
Yeah, no. But if it's that way up on the ladder, how are you going to catch on that?
Oh, go grab the next rung. Boom.
Well, just don't do that.
Well, I want to plane it.
Okay, you plane it then.
Fine.
Matthew Estlea, you have built half a mezzanine level.
I have.
Would you care to do the honors and go up the ladder of dreams?
Oh, sharp corner there. Yes, I would love to. Are you sure these are secure? We actually haven't tried this yet.
No, this is literally right now. I have not touched them. I thought it would be unfair.
Oh, that was weird. I went to go and do the big first step, but there's not. There's
no, it's a very little one.
Little kick up to start with.
Oh, he's going.
Oh!
He's going.
Oh, it feels a bit nicer when there's plywood there.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Right, now we've got to do the standard thing of, right, can I do it? Oh, sorry guys, you're just going to have to... Oh.
Yeah, it does feel better with
it does feel better.
Just be very careful not to misstep on the joist.
No.
The one time I did a bit of carpentry on a building site.
Yeah.
This is the stage that I misplaced my foot, and I put my foot through the ceiling in the client's bedroom.
Oh my god.
Above their bed, and it was covered in plasterboard.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it didn't go down well. It was the first time I wore steel toe caps, and I didn't really have a spatial awareness for them. Just completely misstepped, boom, leg through, and like my top half was like still on the joist. It's just a leg hanging below. So yeah, I've learnt.
Lesson learned indeed.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's pretty scary from up here, but look how far it goes out. Got all this floor space.
Yeah. Pretty damn diddly damn cool.
Yeah, so now we're going to fill it with insulation and get the floorboards tomorrow put in. At least for this section anyway, so we can get the extractor up.
Absolutely. Good morning, good morning. We have 7 sheets of plasterboard on top of my roof at the moment, and we're going to start plasterboarding out the underside of the mezzanine floor. Started doing this with plywood yesterday, reconsidered it, fire safety and all that, and also plasterboard is white, which is going to help reflect light a little bit better and sort of give better light diffusion over the workbench for filming and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more troublesome to get up there. I have no doubt we're going to end up folding one of them round our heads as we hold it up, because we don't have a panel lifter or anything like that. The other thing is I've looked at your comments.
I told him not to.
Yeah, Rob read them first. He was like, if you want to ruin your day, do not read the comments. So
well, if you want to keep your day safe, yeah, don't ruin. Yeah.
But I've read through them. A lot of good suggestions in there. A lot of criticism. I would say it was pretty much 99% criticism.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, but we did make a few amendments since filming that video, which we'll talk you through later on. Like a lot of you mentioned about joist hangers. I'll just address it later. It's easier to do that rather than explain it on here. Okay. So addressing some of your concerns in the previous video, all of your concerns should we say, a lot of them circulated around this jobby, the notched beam. So effectively what you were saying as a summary was by cutting out half the material from this beam here, you take away half the strength of it. This is not a load-bearing beam. The joists are laying on top of it, I know, but the only load that is being applied to this beam is on top of that notch from this beam going across here, which obviously all the joists are laying on top of. Now, not only did we bolt that into this leg going directly down to the floor, but we've also doubled it up and supported this load-bearing beam from below with this secondary 8-inch wide leg kind of thing. So now the only load that could have potentially been applied to this beam has now been negated by this going from below. We do have the same on the other side where there's been a notch cut out of that one going across. However, there is a bearer pretty much directly below that as well. It's just a little bit to the right. So pretty much all the strength or all the force pushing down on this is down into the ground now. And like you mentioned about using joist hangers, that would have been a much more sensible solution. I didn't really think about the use of those before cutting out that material. It would have been a lot quicker. It probably would have been a lot stronger if this leg wasn't here, but like now, it's pushing on the ground. There shouldn't be any issue with it at all. So yeah, that's hopefully answers some of your concerns with that. Yeah, did that cover it all?
I think that did. I think that did.
That was the huge one, wasn't it? That was what, like people got really, and like rightfully so. I didn't really make it very clear. I just kind of jigsawed it out, and then it was just like.
Well, it was a combination of that, and I cut a huge amount of stuff.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah. So it was. I mean, it was a rapid build, which looked quite good in the video.
Yeah.
But from a safety standpoint, it looked like we were doing some shocking shortcuts.
Yes, it did. But no, we did put some thought into it, and I was very much aware that would have. There's no point in having an 8x2 beam if you're just going to cut it into a 4x2 in a section in the middle. So all that force is now transferred into the ground. We are going to get a few more bearers up the side anyway. The other one that I did see a comment about was using wall anchors on the cross bearers going across. M12 wall anchors with chemical adhesive. I might do that, well I probably will do that later on. I think these nylon plugs have a huge amount of strength on them, like massive, and we got some really long ones, thick screws, and we managed to get quite a lot in there. I've actually spaced those probably about 300 to 400 millimeters apart in places and zigzagged them, but that's not going to stop me getting the chemical wall anchor adhesive thingies, whatever you want to call them, in place afterwards. This will certainly hold for the time being.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, we're also thinking on these leading edges, we'll shore them up with more 2x8s and really make sure that the front edge is just as supported as anything else.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Obviously, we've got a very temporary setup there,
yes,
which looks dodgy, but it is doing something.
Well, and transferring all the pressure into the ground again, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. And when that trunking is then moved, we can actually put in the full-on beams. And we can really put in as many as we want there. Yeah. There's not many limitations. The limitations we have over here is the trunking, but here we've only got one pipe to go past, so we can always double up a 2x8 on that end. And again, most of the weight is going to that support beam that's fighting up from the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And we did also say about even fixing the noggins into the wall as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not do too much, but just as added security. Why not?
Could do.
Yeah. So.
But I think overall, like, I don't think people quite realise what the walkway was before.
Yeah, oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. I mean, we did get a few comments about how ropey that walkway looked, but when we were pulling it apart, I could have pretty much pulled it apart with the claw end of a hammer. It was all nailed in, and I'm talking nailed into the brickwork. There was not one screw to be found on that, and it did hold. It wasn't safe whatsoever, and every time I walked over it I did think, this is a bit dodgy, but this is so much more substantial than what we had before. Granted, there is extra weight on top and there is going to be extra weight as well, but yeah, this is a lot more substantial. This is a lot more substantial. Yeah, it just, when we walked up there yesterday, there was absolutely no movement in it whatsoever, and we're not even finished strengthening it from underneath, as we just explained. Not to mention when we get the floorboards on, we're going to stagger those out of 22mm chipboard. We're going to glue those together, we're going to screw those down, we're putting plasterboard on the underside, so that is going to help rigidify it as well. And also the wall up there is going to add weight, but it's also going to stop any potential racking, or I don't know, it will just make it a lot more solid. So we're not done yet, but so far it's pretty strong.
Yeah, and we are very aware of your comments.
Yes.
And we are making sure that if we haven't done exactly what you're suggesting, but we've got something else that sort of can compete, potentially.
And this is being checked by someone who knows what they're doing. As like I explained what we were doing to him, and he said, "Yeah, that sounds good." And yeah, I'm going to get him to check it all probably in the next few weeks, just before we get too. Well, we are quite committed to it now, aren't we? But
yeah, it's too late.
Just to see if we've got any further pointers with it. But I am sort of liaising with him as we go as well. And yeah. When you see it up close and when you actually look at the amount of support and things we've got in it, it's pretty substantial. Yeah, we cut a lot out of that previous video to make it look good without actually making it.
I didn't think about that part, to be honest.
Oh well.
So that's on me.
Yeah.
But I like to think that it was an alright video because no one was commenting on the video editing. Apart from that one guy who said the music was too loud. Guy, if you're watching this, I'm keeping the music at that volume. It was fine.
There we go. So yeah, now we'll try and get that plasterboard up, I reckon. Yeah.
It's very sad seeing work being torn down.
It is, isn't it? Just... Woo! Oh!
Okay, so Matt's got the plasterboard up on the ceiling for the back part after taking down all the plywood. Now we're shifting the temporary support so that the electrician can get back there and move the trunking so that then we can get more support beams in from underneath.
Okay, we're going to call it there for this video. We've made quite a lot of progress. All the joists in, supported, noggins, a little bit of plasterboard in. Workshop looks an absolute tip, but some very good progress has been made. As always, if you have any suggestions, concerns, please don't forget to drop them in the comments below. I'm sure you won't forget, to be honest. But yeah, everything we saw in the last video was constructive for the most part. So yeah, keep that up. That really helped us with this episode. And yeah, thank you very much for your suggestions and all that. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.